Welcome to lesson 5. Again, this is just one page of notes and most of it is review. If you did Saxon 7-6 book. Now, this might be a little different if you didn't do 7-6, but it doesn't mean you are, and if you haven't seen this kind of thing before, it does not mean that you should not be in this class. You'll pick it up very easily. I'm not too worried. All right, the beginning of this, and I have it for a lot of the lessons, I put the warm-up from the lesson in here. So it's more like a get your brain juices flowing so that you can be ready to learn something new. But it's you know, problem solving is what we're doing here. So this says fill in the missing digits. So some people think this is fun. You may or may not be one of them. And notice we have a subtraction problem. So we look at this, and we always start in this, the ones position. 0 minus what equals 3? Well, 0 minus nothing equals 3. So what happened was this had to have been a 10, and so that means we borrowed from this number. So 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay? And if we borrowed from this number, we think, okay, what minus 0 is 1? Well, 1 minus 0 is 1, so since we borrowed, it must have been a 2, because then we borrowed and turned it into a 1. All right, now we've got 5 minus 6 is what? Well, we have to borrow from the 7, so 15 minus 6 should be a 9 in here, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So I'm thinking this was probably the hardest column. All right, so shifting gears, we're going to actually get into the lesson. They're talking about placeholders, place values, okay? And there's a little chart in your book where it takes you all the way out to the 100 trillions and down to the decimal place point. So we're not talking about anything to the right of the decimal sign. So let's look at example 1. Which digit is in the trillions place in the number, let's see here. What I like to do is, okay, here's thousands, here's millions, here's billions, and trillions. So this number here is 32 trillion, 567 billion, 890 million. So which digit is in the trillions place? That would be 2. Okay. In this number, what do we have here? Thousands, millions, billions, trillions. So this is 12 trillion, 457 billion, 697 million, 380,000. What is the place value of the digit 4? All right, so here's the digit 4. What place value is that? Well, like I said, here's thousands, millions, billions, and so it's in the billions grouping. Here's billions, 10 billions, 100 billions. So this is how we write it. 100 billions place. All right, example 2. Write 25,000 in expanded notation. Okay, the way we do that right now, we're going to do it differently later on with exponents. But for today, this lesson, I get my arm around here. We're going to go ahead and say, all right, well, 2, use parentheses, 2 is in the 10,000s spot, okay, plus 5 is in the thousands spot, and that's how we do the answer. All right. Example number 3, use words to write this big old number. Now, if we look, here's your thousands, millions, billions, trillions spot. So what we have here is 1,380,050,200. Notice I never used the word and in there. We don't say and unless we are in decimals. Okay, it's a mistake a lot of people want to make, is to say the word and somewhere while we're reading it, but really try to not say it and get used to that. Okay, so if we write that, it's going to be, let me turn my page a little bit. All right. is going to be 1 trillion. And then you get to write your comma. 380 billion, comma. Now we have no millions, so we get to skip the million spot. We're going to go right to 50,000, comma, 200. All right, use words to write this. Now it's a little harder when you don't see the comma, so I always start from the right and count over so I can see clearly the place values. So it looks to me like we have 3,406,521. All right, so we're going to go ahead and write that. 3. I know you probably thought this was supposed to be math. You shouldn't have to write all this stuff, but you get to. All right, use words to write. All right, so 3 million, comma, 406, comma, oh, sorry, 6, I'm losing it, 406,000. $500. Now always there's a hyphen between the tens and the ones placed in each of, so there's a hyphen here, I'll show you what I mean later. So 500, like the word 20 has a hyphen, 1. So we put a hyphen between the tens and the ones digit. All right, number 5, use digits to write 20 trillion, 510 million. Now the way I like to do that is think, okay, if I'm in 20 trillions, let me count out how many places I have. Okay, here's my thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 100 millions, 10 million, or sorry, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions, 100 billions, trillions, 10 trillions. So now I've got all my spots out there. You see how the commas go thousands, millions, billions, trillions. So that's something to remember. Thousands, billions, trillions. Sorry, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. Thousands, millions, billions, trillions. Say that over and over 10 times fast. All right, 20 trillion. 20 trillion. 510 million. Okay, so it looks like we skipped the billion spots entirely. 510 million. And that's where we end, so the rest are all zeros. All right, the book shows this as well. Again, if you ever get stuck, go ahead and look in the book as well, on top of what I am discussing. Use only digits and commas to write 25 million. All right, million I always think of as 6. There are always 6 zeros for million. So, or we just do it this way. Here's our thousands and million spot. So 25. There we go. Okay, number 7 looks like our last one. Terrell said he drove 2,400 miles on his trip. Use digits to write that number. Well, 2,400 is another way of saying, if we write 24 hundreds, it's another, that's the same way as saying 2,400. All right, now again, in this lesson, what you printed out also included the lesson practice. And you will just go ahead and complete this on this page rather than doing it on your mixed practice lesson set. So sometimes I do these and you can check it out. Sometimes I don't. I'm going to go ahead and say that you're probably good to do this on your own. And so I'm not going to videotape myself showing solutions. You have the solution manual, so do this. Go ahead and check your answers. And then once you've checked your work, fixed any mistakes, redone anything on a separate sheet of paper, go ahead and begin your problem set. All right, that was fun, and I will see you